So heading into the third day without power down here in Houston due to Hurricane Beryl. They call it Beryl, it's actually Beryl, but these Texans can't even pronounce the damn name, let alone fix the power grid. CenterPoint Energy, the only energy company that's apparently available to people that live in Houston. That in itself is a little bit questionable. But there's been all kinds of trucks just sitting in this big lot there for several days, just staging and waiting and figuring out the logistics of how to deal with this. Jamaica gets hit by a Category 5 last week, and everybody's got power there. We got hit by a light Category 1, and there's like 2 million people without power going into the third day. You know, when this first hit, I was in a sense of denial. I thought, no, there's no way. I've been hit by this before, and we get power within 24 hours. Nope. So that made me angry. So then I'm thinking, damn, if I'm not going through some sort of stages of depression, you know, denial and then anger. And then obviously you got to get through this anger stuff because it's poison on the soul. So then you get into the bargaining phase, right? So you're trying to make bargains with God and the universe and anybody else that'll listen. And that ain't working out. So as soon as these pleas for bargaining are dismissed and ignored, they go into a series of depression. So yesterday, I don't know if it was true depression, but it was depression nonetheless, okay, where you kind of down, you feel a little bit of hopelessness. It's like, when the heck is this ever going to end? It may not, who knows, right? And then an interesting thing happens. Just like with grief, you go through this period of acceptance, say, all right, well, it is what it is. You just got to bust on through it, you know? I chose to live in Houston. I chose to live in the United States. And I chose to be, well, I didn't choose to be a human, but the bottom line is I am, so. But now I've accepted this. But a strange thing happened today. I've started going through this concept of reconciliation. Say, you know what? Does it truly have to be like this? And why is it like this? And I got to thinking, human beings, for the most part, love our comfort, right? I've often said this, comfort, control, and convenience is what drives human beings to what they do. So, you take a person out of their comfort zone, and in comfort, we're talking about temperature, okay? Plus or minus 15 degrees off of 70 degree Fahrenheit is going to make someone very uncomfortable for a period of time. They might be able to deal with it for a short period of time. You and I can deal with, say, 95 degree weather for maybe a little while. But 15 degrees above 70, 95 degree, yeah, I don't like it. Or 55 degree weather. Yeah, I don't like that much either for a long period of time. You go 3 days of this, I'm going to tell you something. You get pretty angry. And I got to thinking, the other thing that would really, really piss me off is I didn't get anything to eat. And as some of you know, I definitely like to chow. Well, the bottom line is that I truly believe that if you take a human being and you put them plus or minus 15 degrees off of their comfort zone, and you take away at least 5 meals from them, they turn into a rabid animal. Absolute anarchy will ensue. That's the only thing you have to do. Mess with their temperature and mess with their food source. And guess what? It's pure anarchy. So, after this series of denial and anger and bargaining and depression and acceptance, then the reconciliation hits and they think, okay, what about the next level? What if we do truly want to become this elevated human, right? A call to action. What can we do? Well, first of all, there's a lot of people out there that are a lot worse off than I am, for sure. Definitely. You got to think about those people. But you also got to think, okay, this situation, the hot. I mean, right now in this townhouse that I live in, it's 90 degrees in here. It's going to be like that all night long and all tomorrow and all the next day too, probably. All right? Now let's face it, you really got to raise some food too because, you don't need power. You know, every time you open up that refrigerator, you let out a little bit more BTU, which means that temperature rises in there as well, and spoilage is going to occur. So, call to action is this. How about if we could figure out how to actually live with this discomfort? Then, now, when the situation occurs, we're not going to go through these 5 phases, maybe 6 or 7, that basically plague us, right? We got to go back to the way we were 10,000 years ago. Get tough again, right? Boomers used to be tough. Heck, we were the prodigy of the greatest generation. Those folks were tough. But this new generation, god damn, you tip away their cell phone, their iPhone, their internet, and they're lost. Now, we got to get back to figuring out what it means to be tough all over again. So, I'm going to toughen it out. You know, no electricity, all right. A little bit of food, all right, we'll figure it out. High heat, bring it on. We'll figure it out, right? But like I say before, others have it a heck of a lot more worse than I do, for sure. That old saying, I felt bad that I had a hole in my shoe until I saw the guy without any shoes. And I felt bad for him until I saw the guy without any feet. So maybe that's part of the acceptance fail. I don't know. Anyway,